Hi, everybody, and welcome to English Digest. I'm Pat.
And I'm Erin.
So, Erin, when Pokemon Go came out earlier this year, did you play it?
I did not.
Didn't you even try it out?
No. To be honest, I find the technology behind it very interesting, but I've had very little interest in video games for pretty much my entire life.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Did a lot of your friends play it?
A few. Not as many as maybe someone who is younger, but
fair enough. Well, my wife tried it out. She was excited to find that the first Pokemon was hiding in our bathroom.
Very easy.
Yeah, so we hunted that one down, but then she realized that the music and the sound was annoying. So she stopped playing for a while.
Can't you just turn that off?
It took her a while to figure out how.
Oh.
Once she did, she played a little bit, but it was mostly just to kill time if she was waiting for something, not as a, I'm going to go around and hunt everything out.
Right.
I didn't try it, I have to say.
Well, I've had a few friends be late for appointments and
that's
meetings
not good.
because they got involved with Pokemon, so...
Oh, well.
At least you didn't do that.
Okay, so it is our Newswatch unit this month, and from our discussion, you can probably guess what the first of our two news articles is about. So let's read through these two short articles, and then we'll talk through all the English in them.
Pokemon Go, the free-to-play mobile game that's been sweeping the world, came out in Taiwan a few months ago. The game has already been downloaded more than 100 million times worldwide and is currently even more popular than other social media platforms such as Facebook and Twitter. Pokemon Go is a location-based augmented reality game that lets players catch virtual creatures in the real world around them. The game uses a smartphone's GPS and camera to create an environment filled with Pokemon. This environment is placed over the player's real-world surroundings on the smartphone's screen. Players then locate and catch the Pokemon as they go about their days. The game has not only encouraged people to exercise by going on outdoor adventures, but also helped some autistic children to get out of the house and interact with other people. However, it has also caused safety concerns. Players are wandering where they shouldn't to play the game, including onto train tracks. This has prompted organizations such as the Taiwan Railways Administration to urge that people be mindful of their surroundings at all times while enjoying the game.
淑净, Taiwan's first Rio gold medal winner. Taiwan celebrated this past August when weightlifter淑净won Taiwan's first gold medal at the 2016 Olympic Games. Shu beat her opponents in the 53 kg category by lifting a total weight of 212 kg in the snatch and the clean and jerk. Shu was pleased with her performance as she had agonized over a thigh injury she had suffered 3 weeks previously. Shortly after winning, Shu demanded that she receive the 2012 gold medal as well. She finished in second place 4 years ago, but the gold medal winner has recently tested positive for doping. Shu also won a gold medal at the 2014 Asian Games, where she set a new world record by lifting 233 kg. She capped off her recent success with her phenomenal performance in Rio de Janeiro. As a reward for her Olympic victory, Shu was awarded 30 million NT dollars by Taiwan's sporting authorities. Although some of the money will help her family, Shu also made a large donation to her old senior high school in Kaohsiung. Okay, so those are our two stories. Quite different kind of pieces of news we've got here. Kind of light stuff. We often get heavy news to talk about. This is kind of quite fun, quite good news. So let's start with our first story. Pokemon invade Taiwan. I guess we better look at the title and the word invade first. Right. To invade means to enter a place, often without invitation or permission. and often in large numbers. So we think about invade and we think about one country's army invades another.
Soldiers.
Yeah, exactly. But we could also use invade to talk about kind of bugs coming into a house or criminals kind of breaking into a house. We call that a home invasion.
Right.
Invasion is just the noun form of this verb invade.
All right. If we continue on to our first line, it says, Pokemon Go, the free-to-play mobile game that's been sweeping the world, came out in Taiwan a few months ago.
Yeah, it was, what, August, was it? Or late July?
I think it was around then. It was already out in Canada
That's right,
in the summer,
and the UK and in the States. I remember it was a surprise. There was no news, and suddenly I wake up and my Facebook feed is like, everyone's going, oh, it's here! Pokemon Go is here! Let's get out and play.
It sort of just, it came out of nowhere,
It
to
did
be
a bit.
honest.
That's a good phrase, to come out of nowhere.
Now, we saw the word mobile in that sentence, and in this case, another word for a cell phone or smartphone. Now, it's usually used in the UK.
Yeah, we use a mobile to a mobile phone, or where's my mobile?
So it's basically just saying that this is a game that you play on your phone.
Yeah, I mean, mobile can also mean you move around, so maybe there's a second meaning there because you have to walk around to play the game. Okay, now, when it came out in Taiwan, we found that the game has already been downloaded more than 100 million times worldwide, which is a huge amount, really.
It is.
That's basically a billion, isn't it? 100 million is a billion?
Not quite.
Depends. The US and the UK have different standards for billion. So.
Well, a billion, in my point of view, is 1,000 million.
Okay, well, anyway, it's a huge number, which shows that it was very popular and it was available in a bunch of countries. The article also says the game is currently, or at least was currently when we wrote it, even more popular than other social media platforms such as Facebook and Twitter. Yeah,
That's pretty impressive.
That was, I mean, the popularity has maybe faded a bit. I think it was a big craze for a couple of months, and then fewer people start to play it, which is normal.
I mean, that happens with everything, really.
Yes.
And what will happen probably is that they'll come up with interesting new things in the game to keep people's attention.
Keep people playing, or either that or they risk a new game coming and people play that instead. Now, currently, of course, just means at the present time or right now, whereas the word platform, in our article, it's the kind of hardware a computer system runs and which determines what kind of software or programs or other websites it can use.
Okay.
So here we're talking, social media platform means a type of social media kind of software and programming.
Right.
So Facebook is one platform, Twitter is another, Instagram, which we haven't listed here, is another platform.
For social media.
For social
obviously.
media, exactly, yes.
And then the article says, Pokemon Go is a location-based augmented reality game that lets players catch virtual creatures in the real world around them. Now, let's talk a little bit about this augmented reality. Now, when we started out, I said that I was interested in the technology that they used, and what I'm interested in is the augmented reality, which is also more commonly known as AR these days.
Yep.
And it's the technology of putting images or information that's made by a computer, so it's digital information, on top of a real view. So on top of maybe your phone's camera view that shows the real world.
Street view of Google or something. I mean, if you want to, if those of you who are getting our magazine regularly, back in September or October, a month or so ago, we had an article that talked about AR a lot.
That's right.
So you can go back and check that out for more information.
Now, we also saw the word virtual creatures. Now, AR is very similar to VR in that they are both simulated worlds. They're both fake, but AR is a bit different because it's on top of the real world, whereas VR, or the virtual reality, is a completely fake world that you're immersed in.
Computer-generated, we could say.
Now, these virtual creatures are made by the computer, so they're digital. They're digital creatures in the real world, but they're not real creatures.
No. Okay, we also said the game is location-based, and this is important because the game uses a smartphone's GPS, so it kind of tracks where you are and what's around you, and this then that uses the GPS and the camera to create an environment filled with Pokemon.
Okay.
So you'd walk around a corner, your phone might buzz, and there it is. You can see it on your phone through the camera, this little turtle or bear or plant thing moving around, jumping, and you have to try and catch it.
Now, this environment is placed over the player's real-world surroundings on the smartphone screen. So that's how the AR works. We use the camera, and it shows up with what's around us in the real world. And it shows our surroundings.
Yeah, like I said, we found our first one in our bathroom, standing on top of the back of the toilet. So odd place, maybe, but that's our surroundings, really.
Yeah, its surroundings are all the things that are present in the place that we're in and that form our experience of being there.
Yep. So we've got all these creatures around, which players then locate or find and catch the Pokemon as they go about their days. So the phrase to go about their day means just to do the normal things you would do in a day. You go to work, go to school, do some shopping, go out for dinner. And as you're doing all of these things, you can kind of check your phone. Oh, there's one. I'll catch it. There's another. I'll catch it. So you could go out there and hunt them, or you could just kind of keep it on.
When
and as you
outside.
find them, you grab them.
Right. Now, actually, this phrase, go about their days, is not very common where I'm from. We usually say go about one's business.
One's business, yeah. That also works. Similar meaning.
All right, so let's continue on. It says, the game has not only encouraged people to exercise by going on outdoor adventures, but also helped some autistic children to get out of the house and interact with other people. Quite a long sentence here.
Yep, couple of words to look at.
So it says the game has not only encouraged people, so encourage we know means to provide conditions that help something to happen, or sometimes to suggest that someone do something that you believe is good for them.
Hey, you should try this. You should do this.
And we all know that exercise is good for us, so the game is encouraging people to exercise. It's saying, this is good for you, guys. Go out and do it.
Walk around the park. And so this is great for some people, and it's also helped autistic children. Autism is kind of a range of different social disorders, developmental disorders that usually result in people having problems interacting socially with others.
Sometimes communicating as well.
Yeah, communicating. Sometimes it can be a problem with learning disabilities as well. It's all kind of related as a developmental disorder. So these autistic children will find it hard to play with other kids, but using Pokemon Go as this kind of idea, they can go and play with each other and interact with each other.
Yeah, and a lot of autistic children are very
shy and awkward.
Very shy and awkward, also concerned about their surroundings.
Yes.
If they're not in a comfortable place, they can get very upset. And so this is encouraging them to go outside to sort of live outside a little bit, figure out.
Yeah, like normal kids without disorders.
That it's comfortable. And we also saw interact with. Now, we talked about these children interacting with other people. Sometimes that's hard for autistic children. So when you interact with someone, you communicate with another person, you react to what they say or do.
Yeah. Now, all of these things are good. However, the game has also caused safety concerns. There have been worries about it. Players are wandering where they shouldn't. They're going off to places, not really paying attention into dangerous places, including onto rail tracks to play the game, which that's definitely a bad idea. They can get themselves hurt.
Yes. Now, we usually see a lot of signs around those railroad tracks. Stay off them, and they're there for a reason. Now, it also says this has prompted organizations such as the Taiwan Railways Administration,
TRA, as it's probably commonly known,
to urge that people be mindful of their surroundings at all times while enjoying the game. So let's quickly look at the word prompt, okay? So this has prompted organizations. When you prompt something, you cause something to happen. So this has caused the TRA to ask people not to go onto the tracks.
Yeah, to in fact urge them, which means strongly ask or strongly suggest, like, please, really don't do this.
Yes.
Be mindful, pay attention to your surroundings at all times. So don't just go, okay, I can look at the game for a bit and then see what's going on around me. Please pay attention to everything that's going on around you.
Which is something you should do anyways.
You shouldn't need to be told that, to be honest, but there you go. Okay, that's the end of our first news story. We're going to take a short break now. We'll come back in a few moments and look at our second one. Okay, so welcome back, everyone. Our second Newswatch story is about许淑净, Taiwan's first gold medal winner in Rio, the Olympics this summer. And of course, the whole country celebrated in August when the weightlifter许淑净won Taiwan's first gold medal at the 2016 Olympic Games. Now, she's a weightlifter, which means basically her chosen sport is lifting heavy weights above her head.
I will say it's not my chosen sport.
But yeah, it's something that she's good at and very good at. One of the best in the world right now.
Well, it also says Shu beat her opponents in the 53 kilogram or kg category by lifting a total weight of 212 kg in the snatch and the clean and jerk. Now, I will say I did have to look up some terms here.
Me too, yes.
So I've learned a new thing from this article. I learned that the snatch is actually when you lift the weights in one quick motion from the floor to over one's head.
Yes.
All right, which sounds really difficult.
Yes.
And then the clean and jerk is when you lift it to your shoulders and then use your strength to lift it over your head.
Yeah, so you get a bit more leg power in the clean and jerk.
Yeah.
So this is how it works in weightlifting. There are two separate lifts. You do one and then you do a second one. You add the total weight you lifted, and that's where we say the total weight was 212. So you can lean a bit.
Okay.
You can usually lift more with the clean and jerk because you can use your legs and you can have kind of two movements.
Yes.
So her combined total was that, which is pretty good. Now, she beat her opponents. That means everybody else who was competing, all the other people from the other countries, in the 53 kilogram category.
Okay.
Now, with weightlifting, obviously, it doesn't make sense to have really big, strong, tall people competing in the same category or
as
kind of type as much shorter people. So
Yeah.
the 53 kilogram category is people who weigh up to and around 53 kilograms. Heavier people will be in a heavier category. So it's kind of almost saying a particular type or group of weightlifters. Her category is people who weigh around 53 kgs. So we can see there she has basically lifted 4 times her own body weight in these two lifts, the snatch and the clean and jerk.
She is a lot stronger than most of the people I know. I will say that.
Exactly.
Now, it goes on to say Shu was pleased with her performance as she had agonized over a thigh injury she had suffered 3 weeks previously.
Which kind of makes it even more impressive that she could lift this, twice her body weight over her head.
Especially, 3 weeks before you compete in the Olympics
Not
to have
good
an
timing.
injury.
Exactly.
And that would make your clean and jerk a lot harder, probably as well.
Both. You need to use legs in both, yeah.
It says she had agonized. Now, agonize is a verb and the noun is agony.
Yes.
Basically, it means to spend a long time worrying about and being upset about something. Now, that thing that you're upset about would be the agony. And when you're worried about it, you're agonizing about it. And to be fair, agonizing about something that might hinder your performance in the Olympics.
Yeah, you'd be worried about all sorts of things. You could also agonize over a job interview, a test at school, something important that's going to happen, a speech that you have to give. Those are the kinds of things you agonize about.
Right.
In Shu's case, it was a thigh injury. The thigh is the upper part of your leg above the knee. And she had a muscle injury there. So if it was damaged, it's going to make it so much harder and she could make the injury worse.
Right.
So she'll be wondering, am I going to get better? Am I going to be able to lift this weight? It'll interrupt her sleep. That's the sort of thing. If you were agonizing over something, you maybe can't sleep well at night.
You're constantly thinking about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
However, despite the thigh injury, despite all these problems, she did it. She won that gold medal.
It says shortly after winning, Shu demanded that she receive the 2012 gold medal as well.
Yeah, she said, hey, I think I deserve this. But why? Why should she say, well, I've just won the 2016 one, no problems there.
Yeah.
What about 4 years ago, the London Olympics in 2012? Well, basically, this is what happened. She finished in second place 4 years ago. So in London, in the 2012 Summer Olympics, she got silver. She came second.
Okay.
However, in the 4 years between the two Olympics, the gold medal winner, the person who beat her back in London in 2012, tested positive for doping. They looked at her samples and they said, wait a minute, you've been doping. And to doping in sport, that means you've been using performance-enhancing drugs. You've been taking banned chemicals. Now, these days, these aren't just chemicals that you take that kind of make you super strong. They're usually pretty easy to spot. The kind of drugs people take these days are the sorts of things that would make you recover very quickly from an injury or recover your strength and build muscle between training sessions.
So that's a bit sneakier now because I know doping when I was young, it used to be big steroids and it was a lot of like big muscles.
Giant people.
It was very popular in baseball in the US for a long time. And
well, those are all been banned a long time ago. So people who are trying to basically they're cheating. They're trying to get an edge through using chemicals that they shouldn't. And the drug agencies have to ban more drugs every year, which means that chemical companies kind of make new ones. So it's almost like a race or a running battle. You invent it, they find it, they ban it. So the event, this weightlifter, whoever won the gold medal, was found to be cheating. They said, well, you cheated. I don't know if that woman has been stripped officially of the gold. Maybe she has, but they haven't officially given the medal to Xu at the time of writing this article.
Right, so she's just demanded it, but we don't know if she's received it.
Yeah, hopefully she will, because no one should cheat and win a medal.
No.
There's been a lot of big athletes who have been stripped of their gold medals, and basically she's saying, well, this person shouldn't have won it. They cheated, so if you kind of discount her, I should win the gold medal. It should be mine.
Now, it also says Xu also won a gold medal at the 2014 Asian Games.
She's unstoppable.
I know, where she set a new world record by lifting 233 kg.
Wow.
Now, she was lifting 212 at the Olympics, but she even set this new world record, 233 kgs.
Yeah, so she did even better.
That's almost 5 times her body weight.
So this is super impressive. So she's obviously been on a good roll. She's been training well. She's been lifting well and so on. So she's had a lot of recent success, and she capped off this recent success with her phenomenal performance in Rio de Janeiro. To cap something off means usually when you've been having a lot of success, you've been doing a lot of things well, the thing that caps it off is like the best performance of all, the absolute top.
Right.
So maybe she did lift more in the Asian Games, but to win an Olympic gold is basically best thing you're going to do as a sports person. So no, that's why we say it capped it off. It's like the ultimate success.
Right.
She's going to struggle to beat that. You know, maybe she could come back in 4 years and win another Olympic gold.
Or another Asian Games.
Yeah, so she could keep going, but usually when someone's won Olympic gold, it doesn't get much better.
Right.
Which is why we say she capped off the recent success with this phenomenal performance.
So phenomenal actually just means extremely impressive, or sometimes extremely surprising, but in this case, impressive.
Yeah, remarkable, outstanding.
Right. It also says, as a reward for her Olympic victory, Xu was awarded 30 million NT dollars by Taiwan's sporting authorities.
Nice.
So that's quite a lot of money. So you get a gold medal and $30 million. That's around $1 million US.
$1 million US. And now this is kind of important because a lot of these athletes, they have to pay sometimes for their own training and their own facilities.
Yes.
Some countries like the US and the UK can afford to spend a lot of money on their international sports teams.
Right.
Taiwan doesn't necessarily have that much money available. So this kind of reward for success is, you know, it's a nice way to help these people and show that they're appreciated.
And perhaps continue on in their training.
Exactly.
Right.
So we use the word reward there. This was a reward. Here we're using reward as a noun, and it's something you give to somebody for their great performance, for their success.
Okay.
Now, a medal in itself is a reward. So this is is a financial reward. Another kind of reward could be a promotion for a job well done.
Yeah.
Or even a dog. You can give that a reward by giving it a nice treat when it behaves itself.
Yeah, and for students, good rewards, when I was young, if I did really well on a math test, which I wasn't very good at, my mother would give me a $5 reward.
Oh,
and
nice.
if I was a bit older, she'd, maybe give me $20 and I could go see a movie. And
Sweet. We also, a similar word is awarded. She was awarded this money. Award here is being used as a verb. We could use an award as a noun. You can win one. But to award something basically means to give somebody a prize, give someone their reward. And here the reward was given, it was awarded by Taiwan's sporting authorities. So that's the government bodies who are in charge of planning and managing and controlling all the sports, making sure they've got the right funding, making sure that the good stuff is going on, and also setting up the things like, all right, we're going to bring the team of athletes to Rio.
Well, that almost finishes up, but we have one more sentence here. It says, although some of the money will help her family, Shu also made a large donation to her old senior high school in Kaohsiung.
That's great.
That is great. So she made a donation, which is basically she's giving some of the money that she has or that she's won to her school.
Yeah,
so
and expecting nothing in return. It's a free gift with you don't have to pay it back. You don't have to give her something in return. It's just, here, I've got this and I'm going to give it to people who need it.
Yes.
When we donate things, when we make a donation, it's because we have something and other people probably need it more than you do.
Right.
So you give it away.
We're trying to help them.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we usually give a donation to people that we want to help. So maybe she wants to help her senior high school build more sport facilities.
Yeah, help people train, repair some of their grounds and so on.
Yeah.
So that's great. That's a really good act by Shu. Okay, everybody. Thanks for listening to our Newswatch articles. Some kind of nice, light news to share with you.
Yeah, some really great news.
Yeah, some good stories kind of make yourselves feel better. But that is the end of our article for today. Thank you for listening. For English Digest, I'm Pat.
And I'm Erin.
We'll talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.